Welcome to the Seller Roundtable e-commerce coaching and business strategies with Andy Arnott and Amy Wees.
Bill Kilgallen was the chairman, and as I say, he is a dear, dear friend of mine now, but I didn't know him at all then. I knew his father had started the company, and they were a very well-to-do, established family in Bryan, Ohio. I had done my research about their stock and what Bill was paid as chairman of the board, and on and on. So when I sat in his conference room, his private conference room with elephant tusks around the fireplace and a Persian rug on the floor, my office at my factory was a loading dock I didn't need. I mean, it was so different. But we had made trips back and forth to each other's factories a few times in those 9 months. So I'm in his office the last day, in his conference room the last day. And as a woman in business, Amy, you'll get this. Now, he said to me, now, Marcia, what we're going to do is we're going to merge our companies. No, first he said, you're going to have to move to Bryan, Ohio, because we're going to need you to brand manage this product line. And I said, well, Bill, I would consider that. And he said, and we'll pay you, this is 1989, we'll pay you $42,000 a year. And I said, Bill, in all due respect, and he was making $580,000 a year and stock options. And I said, Bill, in all due respect, I pay my plant manager more than that. And he said, but Marcia, you'd be the highest paid woman in Bryan, Ohio, and you've got an employed husband. Strike one. But I kept my mouth shut and I kept my woman temper down. Then he said, so what we're going to do is, well, let me step back. Before I met with Bill, Chet Dahl was their senior VP of sales and marketing, took me around the executive suite and introduced me. And I noticed there was not a single woman in an office other than behind a typewriter. There were no female executives in the company. And I made a little note of that. And he introduced me to their chief financial officer. And he looked up and down and up and over to Chet and said, she can't look like that and have a brain too.
Right in front of you, like you didn't even exist. Women have come so far. And again, you're part of pioneering that.
You know, some of these young gals who are making a mark in business now, I do take a little tiny bit of credit for helping open the door because they can't imagine what this was like then. So now we're back in Bill's conference room and he says, what I'm going to suggest we do is merge our companies now. This is October. And then we'll go to Toy Fair, which is the big industry event in New York every February. We'll go to Toy Fair. We'll announce the merger. And then we'll sit back down in June and determine what the company's worth. And I said, Bill, it sounds to me like you want our companies to sleep together before they're married. And I'm kind of old fashioned and traditional, so I'm not interested in that proposition. Oh, I don't mean anything sexual, Marcia.
Like he didn't get that you were trying to make an analogy.
No.
I mean, apparently, you know, you can have mahogany, but you don't need brains.
Audited financials. They had 9 months of due diligence. They knew everything was on the table. There were no hidden secrets. So he just didn't want to pay. You know, I tease him that he was born with a birth defect. His arm isn't long enough to reach his wallet. And so that's been our long-standing joke. But
so, and the thing was, from that, you didn't end up selling to them. And you already told us about the deal that you got, which was really incredible. And, you know, so that's the other lesson here out of your story is that, yes, it's important to say yes sometimes, but it's also important to know what's important to you and know when to say no. So ultimately, you know, what made you decide? What was the deciding factor? Because this was an opportunity still, right? You knew that, you know, but sorry.
With Ohio Art, what was that?
Yeah, what was the thing that made you decide to say no?
Well, it was $42,000. I was running a company with 5 factories. I mean, this was an insult.
So you were insulted, yeah.
I was insulted. I was working my tail off. And Bill's father created his company. Bill was the oldest son. He never loaded a semi. He never did any of the work I had done, and just no acknowledgement of what I had put in to build a company with this kind of distribution. So it was that. And then moving to Bryan, Ohio, when I lived in Boulder County, Colorado. I mean, I really didn't want to move to Ohio. Would have I? Probably, but no, it was not high on my list. And then this whole nonsense of let's go wait till next June to find out what I'm going to pay you. No, it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And as much as I like the Kilgallons, and they are some of the finest people you'll ever want to deal with. Bill's a shrewd business guy, and he's a very wealthy man because he knows how to strike these kinds of deals. But it wasn't fitting what my needs were. And so I guess, and I remember we were shipping to Discovery Toys at the time, and we had a huge Discovery Toy order. And I got off the airplane, took off my brand new, I bought this fancy designer sell my business suit to wear into the meeting, took it off, put on my sweats and my blue jeans, and went back over and helped. I needed to make sure Discovery Toys shipped on time. And I cried on the airplane trip home. I was so sad because I needed
to sell.
Mental and physical. I probably weighed 65 pounds less than I do now. I was living on Diet Pepsi and no sleep. And it's not healthy, but
it was still important, even though you were in that situation where you kind of were desperate. I mean, to sell, you were very desperate to sell at that point. But at the same time, you still knew your worth. You really wanted to sell, and you knew that you were seeking that relief, but you knew your worth. And so, it's important. It's such an important lesson learned. So let's fast forward. So here we are today, and now Marcia's figuring out e-commerce, which has been fun so far. She's been in Amazon jail. She's done all the things, right? We had her at the Empowering Women's Conference in Vegas, and she came out in a prison jumpsuit and said, "I'm wearing this jumpsuit because I'm in prison, Amazon prison," and it was hilarious, and we love it.
I have been unjustly charged.
She has been unjustly charged. So she has been through the flagged for pesticides issue. So but anyway, so we're going to fast forward now to what you're doing now, which is e-commerce. And, we learned so many lessons from your story. And, I think you say, I'm a dinosaur, I'm figuring out e-commerce. Well, guess what? You have more experience than all of us. And, yes, you might not know all the bells and whistles for e-commerce, but none of us do. Okay. They change every single day, and we're all just flying by the seat of our pants, going along for the ride. So, let's talk about what had you starting Stable Coppers, your new company. What had you starting that and deciding to enter into e-commerce? How did you decide to do this?
It's exactly the same thing. My whole life, I've been a product designer. I've done over 100 products. You're hearing some of the bigger ones. I had another product, the gel-filled wrist rest that went in front of the keyboards, that I created that, and I licensed that worldwide to Case Logic. That was a whole different way to exit.
Major company, Case Logic, yes.
Yes. So I loved creating easy, practical, affordable solutions for everyday problems. Like my daughter wanted something to play with that didn't stain her clothes. I wanted something that makes my wrists not hurt when I was typing, because back then our computer keyboards were this high and you had to cock your wrist to type. So in 2000, I became deathly ill with a MRSA staph infection in my lower spine. I had final rites twice. I was sick for 6 months. I had to learn to walk again. I had 6 surgeries. When I got done with all that, I thought there's got to be a way to kill germs besides all these drugs. I was on a drip vancomycin, which is the most potent antibiotic we have in the world. And it ruined my hair, my skin, and my nails. And all those cells that reproduce frequently were destroyed. So when I got all regenerated, I thought there's got to be a way to kill germs that doesn't ruin our bodies. So I started doing research and came upon antimicrobial copper, and I was blown away. I didn't know anything about the power of copper, but boy, I do now. It is the most amazing metal on the planet. We think gold is the most precious. If I could choose between a pound of copper and a pound of gold, I would take the copper, because your health is your wealth. And without your health, you have no wealth at all. Gold doesn't do anything. It's just a pretty metal. Copper kills 99.97% of germs on contact. I have my copper hope necklace on right now. By the way, you can get it on cvs.com as of yesterday. I roll this between my hands whenever I am exposed to a germy surface. I use it as a push button for elevators or the checkout at the grocery store. Yes, Amy, I put it in my nose every morning and every night. And my husband and I have not had a cold for 5 years. And the reason is we get most of our germs enter our body 80% on our hands, the rest through our nose. So if we can keep our nasal passages and our hands clean, we're way ahead of the game on staying healthy. We have about 200 people in our focus group who use our phone patch, which goes on the back of a cell phone, the germiest things we touch all day. And thank you, Andrew. I see that you're rocking your phone patch. If we can keep our, there's Amy's. If we can keep our hands germ-free, we're way ahead of the game. But of our 200 people, no one has had COVID or a cold since August of 2019. Now that's powerful. No drugs, and this is all natural, no chemicals. And here's what's amazing. This one copper roller or your copper phone patch will kill germs for the rest of your life. One purchase lasts forever. They just found a pyramid in Egypt, 10,000 years old, and it had copper water pipes in the bottom of the pyramid. The water in those pipes was 10,000 years old, and it was still pure and drinkable. That's how powerful this metal is. So I just became obsessed with, this is the way we have to help people stay germ-free. Nobody should be as sick as I was in the year 2000. It was horrendous. So
you were not responding to the pandemic and coming out with something.
No.
You already had this, and it was something that you discovered. And you're clearly a serial inventor and entrepreneur. I'm the same way. I'm always inventing new things. I always have new ideas, and that's why I just connect.
And Amy, we have to do one product together.
I know
we both love it. It's just the way my brain works. I want to find easy, affordable, practical solutions. Because if I've got a problem, other people have it too. But it's just looking at things a little bit differently. But we started this so people wouldn't get colds. It had nothing to do, coronavirus didn't exist yet. Actually, our company was doing lights out fabulous until coronavirus. That's when we cratered, because Amazon threw off thousands of accounts that were making kill claims. So last March 18th, St. Patrick's Day, we got our nationwide EPA clearance where we are legally able to say we kill 99.97% of germs. And we got that on March 18th, but it still took my genius Nir in Israel, Nir Reve, you know him. He's been working on getting us back on Amazon. I had hired 6 other consultants to help. Nir's the one who cracked the code, but it took us until July 25th to get our first product back up. So we're starting all over again, but I'm not a quitter.
No, and that's the thing is, like, it is very difficult dealing with Amazon because they're a conglomerate, right? And you can't get to that right person. And what's flagging your listing is the words in it. Even though you have the authority to claim those words, it's against their policy. So, it's just one of those things. And oftentimes, and I see this with my clients all the time, it's like, it's actually an easy fix. And when I looked at your listings as well, I was like, oh, Marcia, this is actually an easy fix. But how are you supposed to know that? Because Amazon's not going to give you the fix.
No.
And it's only people like Nir and me who know, like, okay, who've actually had to deal with this and work through these problems and learn by experience, because it's not documented anywhere. No. And here you just get shut down and you don't know what to do. So
you don't even know why. You don't even know why. They don't.
Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
there's no human being to talk to. At least back in my sidewalk chalk days, every one of my accounts, I had an account specialist or a buyer that I could call and say, hey, we've got, what are you forecasting for the next 90 days? Amazon doesn't give you any forecast. You just better have a lot of product, because if it gets strong, you better be able to run. So it's just so challenging, the lack of humanness in e-commerce. And I think that's what I miss the most, because I'm a people person. I truly love people, keeping them germ-free, and just people to be.
And retail is still very old school and still very people oriented. And, you know, and I think coming from that side of things, it is more difficult. E-commerce can be lonely if you're not well connected. And I think that's why you've found your tribe in, you know, all of us hanging out with, you know, and coming to all these networking events. And I would encourage anyone else who's out there who's feeling lonely, like they don't really know, you know, where they're going or what they're doing, start coming to some of these events, because it really does make a huge difference. And, you know, you feel networked in, and you feel like part of the family, and the people are just wonderful. So that being said, you were new at the e-commerce thing. Obviously, you have way more experience than most with retail and with product development and all of that. But what would you encourage new people to do, new sellers that are just thinking about getting started and they're trying to figure out how to pick a product and what to do? What's your word of advice there?
Well, if they're creating their own products, which is what I've always done, my best advice is to test and find a couple of hundred people who will test your product and give it to them free and get feedback. Because if I could show you the first roller we made, you would just laugh if you saw it now. In fact, Amy, I've never shown this before. I'm going to show it to you.
Yay!
This is such an embarrassment. This is the very first copper roller. It was a piece of antimicrobial copper with a wiki stick holding it to a drinking straw.
Oh my gosh.
That's
and you gave that to people to test?
No. This was the first one I made. And then
first prototype.
First prototype. So you have to test. And then the next piece of advice, listen to what they say and take your ego out of it, because some things just aren't worth taking to market. And you don't know that, because we all love our own products so much. So I would say test and listen would be if you're creating your own products, and then just start. It's so easy to list a product on Amazon or Walmart Marketplace or Etsy or eBay. They don't really protect intellectual property, so I'm not crazy about eBay. At least if I tell Amazon someone's violating my patent, they're off the next day. And I do respect that Amazon is good about that. So I would say test, listen, and start. Because if you've proven among 50 to 100 to 150 people that, yes, I would buy this if this were fixed up and finalized, just like we did at the craft shows. We took this to 86 craft shows 1 year before we entered into selling to the gift stores in Colorado. I already knew what people would pay. I knew if I had 3 for $10 and they wanted to buy 6, I knew they thought it was a good value. If I had one of these marked at $7, they'd put it back down. It was too expensive. I just did it all the old-fashioned way by watching consumers touch and interact with product. So, and then I also think the power of the media is so huge. Now the media's changed just like everything else. But when we were on ABC World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, that blew our world up. We were then on Oprah when she had 2 names, the Oprah Winfrey Show. We were on the Phil Donahue. Those were big names back then. And that's what my retailers really loved, that we were also pushing the media to get people into their stores.
Yes. And it's really, nowadays, it's so important what you do off of Amazon. I'm speaking in Miami at the Amazon powwow, And that's what I'm going to be talking about is how your competition is beating you, and specifically what they're doing off of Amazon. And that's the thing is content and content marketing is so important. And, you know, the things that, and it's not even that hard. It's not, you know, people think, oh, it's unreachable for my product to be featured in a major news outlet. No, it's not.
You know what? Here's what's interesting, Amy. Back when I did Sidewalk Chalk, there were 3 networks, ABC, NBC, CBS. That was it. And they were only on 9 or 10 or 12 hours a day. At certain time, you'd hear the, I think it was, what was the song they played when they all went off the air? Was it God Bless America or one of those songs? And then they'd go off the air. The screens were dark in the middle of the night. Now we have tens of thousands of news outlets that are needing news 24 hours a day. There has never been a better time to get media. It just takes a lot of time. And that's, I think, the biggest hurdle for most of us entrepreneurs is waking up in the morning and looking at your to-do list and knowing what's the most critical thing I have to get done, because there's a million things to do every day.
So I want to tell you guys that Marcia does Amazon Lives.
Yes.
And she doesn't do them herself. She has found other people who do Amazon. I got an email from Marcia one day and it said, we're going live on Amazon on this time, come support us, which is the other important lesson to learn. We could just go all day, couldn't we? Just talking about all these lessons, right? And I know everybody's loving it. We're getting all these messages in here saying, Marcia's amazing, look at this. But also, you know, Amazon Live is completely new to you. It's, you know, and people are intimidated by it, but you are going, hey, I'm going to give it a shot. This pirate guy has a show. I'm going to get on his show and we're going to have fun. And and not only did you do that, you spread the word that you were going to be live so that you would get your friends and anybody who's a customer of Stable Copper to support you. So what a great message and what a great lesson.
I'm also doing 4 to 6 Amazon posts every day, and I am seeing continued growth in following and engagement. I don't know.
Video shorts on other people's pages, on other product pages?
I'm just doing posts on my ASINs.
Yes, which is really good. But what you can do is you could do video shorts on other people's pages.
Oh, you got to teach me how to do that.
Yes, let's do it. That'll be fun. Yeah. So, you know, there's
so much to learn.
Yeah, but you're already doing 90% more than most of your competition, which is so cool, right? So you're learning this new platform and you're doing things that are completely foreign to others. People are like, Amazon Live, what's that? But Amazon Live's been around for a while. And guess what? Amazon pushes it during the holidays. Yes. So they're going to replay all these old lives during the holidays and new ones because they want that 24/7 kind of shopping, TV shopping feel. And you're going to get all of that traffic over again.
And what's amazing, they'll let you run an Amazon Live for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. They don't care. You can talk about your product. And that's why I invited other people, because after a while, you know, people get tired of hearing me say copper's fabulous, da, 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 da. And so I wanted other people to say what they had learned, and it really became fun exchanges. I think we did get some really interesting emails and people were happy to get involved.
Yes. So we're almost at the top of the hour, and I don't want to forget, Marcia has a special offer for our audience. So Marcia sells these amazing, and for those of you who are listening, I'm going to describe them. Marcia sells copper plates for your phone. So I've got one on my phone here, copper plates for your phone, as well as copper
rollers.
Rollers. Thank you. I was like, what's the word for that?
It comes as a keychain or a necklace.
Keychain or necklace.
Don't get home without it.
It actually comes with a little clip on the end, and I clip it to my purses.
Awesome.
So because I like having it on my purse, and it's so nice because then I just pull it out of my purse, and you know, if I'm in the car and I don't have sanitizer or anything, I just pull it out my purse and just rub it between my hands. And then I always have one on the back of my phone. Marcia sent me one with my logo on it. It's so cool. And look, it's getting character now. It's kind of, you know,
it's called Tina. Copper oxidizes with air, and you can clean it off, but here's the cool thing. Copper kills just as many germs, brand new and shiny, as it does patinaed. So it's just a personal choice.
Yeah, I love it. It's really awesome. I like the character in the copper. It reminds me of my brand. It has a little bit of character. So you just recently listed on CVS and Lowe's.com. And you need reviews.
Yes,
you need purchases and reviews. And we all know how hard that is. So Marcia would like to tell you guys, if you go on CVS.com or Lowe's.com and you buy one of Marcia's products on there, and you just reach out to Marcia, she's going to give you her information on how to reach her in just a moment. But if you reach out to Marcia and you let her know that you did that, leave her a review, help her out, tell her what you think of the product, put it out there for Lowe's and CVS, and that way she's getting a lot of that extra SEO juice, right? And do that for Marcia. Reach out to her, show her that you did that, and she will send you something free. Send you a free product. So
I will. If you will go to Lowe's.com or CVS.com and buy our product, I will send you a free product with every one you purchase. And I'm only doing that on Amy's show because we do need to get the sales. We just got on CVS yesterday, Lowe's about 2 weeks ago. So we need to get sales and reviews started. So it's the holiday season. It's the beginning of cold and flu season in the US. So think of all the people that you love that you want to keep germ free, and you can buy one, get one free. And I'm happy to do that to any of your audience in exchange for a review. Now, here's the cool thing, Amy. I can't say that on Amazon. You can't ask for a review on Amazon, but CVS and Lowe's, I can ask for the reviews.
And it's not like you're, anyway, it's something that we all want to do to support each other's brands. And you are asking them to buy the product full price. You're not like, I'm going to give you some money to go buy the product. That's different. You're asking them to buy it full price, and in return, you're offering them an extra product. And a lot of brands do that. They'll give a free gift, that kind of thing. So that's what you're doing. And I think it's wonderful. And so Carmel asked, what is the name of the product? So Stay Well Copper, right? And
Stay Well Copper. And we have a phone patch, and we have a germ stopper roller. Those are our, and then on CVS, we have the dog tag necklace also, which is just like a military dog tag. Some men like to wear those more than, and all of these come on our website. There's more products on our website. Lowe's has 3 listed and CVS has 3 listed because we're testing.
Yes. So if I share my screen, all I did was search for Stay Well, all one word, STAYWELL, copper, on Lowe's.com, and you can see all of Marcia's awesome products come up. I actually changed my phone case just so I could fit these products on there. So, all right, Marcia, last things here before we hit stop, and I let these good people who are still in here just ask you a question if they have one. But how can people, if they want to get in touch with you, how should they reach out to you?
The best way, I'm going to give you my direct email. It's Marcia, MARCIA @staywellcopper.com. And I'm happy to answer any of your questions. And I do just see that Andrew has a question about how to get product into Lowe's. Andrew, reach out to me afterwards and I will tell you exactly how to. It's much too much for this time in the podcast, but I want you to know, and I'm happy to help anybody. At my age in life, now it gets to be who I can help and give back to, because so many people have helped me learn what I've learned. I didn't know any of this at all.
Yeah.
All those many years ago. So one step at a time, and we are here to help each other.
Exactly. Yes. And it is about giving back, right? When you see
I have a
success,
request of you, Amy, and your audience, because you all know so many people. I am looking for a strategic partner that can join me and help take Stay Well to the next level. I have built this so far, but I know to get to the next level, it's time to bring in a really good strategic partner, because e-commerce is so critical. And I don't want to make any more of those 11-month delisting Amazon mistakes. That was a critical blow. And I just am really looking for a strong strategic partner. So if you know someone, please have them reach out to me.
I do, actually. I have a very good relationship with one of the best in the business, and they run health brands like Johnson & Johnson and P&G and on Amazon. So they're
we've got great products. We've got proven products that we've got a US supply chain with no glitches. We have intellectual property protected. And I have a list of products that need to be finalized and developed. And I'd rather do that. I can be more valuable to the company doing that so I am looking for that partner. It's time.
All right, you guys, you heard it here. Marcia put it out there. Of course, I'll connect her with mine, but if you're listening to this show right now and you have a good connection for Marcia, reach out. She's on Facebook. She's on all the places, so definitely reach out. She's so reachable, and I couldn't believe, the first time I talked to her, I couldn't believe what a legend I was talking to. And, it's just awesome. She's just a wonderful lady. And we just thank you, Marcia, for being here today. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Thank you for inspiring us. And everyone else listening, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to hit the stop button on the live stream. We're going to do a few questions here in the Zoom. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast, everyone. We would so appreciate that. And don't forget, Seller Poll is out right now. Seller Poll, you got to make your votes for your favorite podcast. We would love your vote. But of course, Seller Poll also lets you vote for all of your favorite providers. So get out there, sellerpoll.com, vote for our podcast, vote for any of your favorite providers, including Amazing at Home. We would love to get your vote there. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Marcia. And we will see you next time on the Seller Roundtable. Bye.
Stay well, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in. Join us every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for live Q&A and bonus content after the recording at sellerroundtable.com. Sponsored by the ultimate software tool for Amazon sales and growth, sellerseo.com and amazingathome.com.